Hello, it is me, Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned In Tarot. And we are here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine sides of self, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our interactions with others, in our external environment. And if we want to see change, we do have to shift and make changes within us. Please ignore the disaster area you see behind me. This is me moving out of this room in the next few weeks. I have no idea where I'm going. And if you'd like to make sure that I'm going to be safe and moving to a good place, you will please consider donating or booking personal readings at this time. You can catch me on TikTok Live for personal readings for $22, or you can get a reading starting at $33 on my site. All of my one-on-ones right now for tarot are 50% off through Valentine's Day, and I'm going basically through the end of February. So if you want a reading for 50% off, or you can see me over FaceTime or whatever, that is available at the link in my profile. When you click book a reading, or if you go to tunedintarot.com, you'll see it when you scroll down. So please take advantage of that. Please do make donations if you can. Again, this is going to be a very interesting month for me, transitioning into a new place without any current stable income. So I've done it before and I'll do it again, and that's how we do it. All right, so the spread that we're using today is called the Relationship Happiness Tarot Spread. I found it from angelorm.com. I've used it for a couple weeks in a row and I really like it. So we're gonna go ahead and use that one again today, and we're going to get right into it. So the first question is what the divine feminine and the divine masculine are thinking about each other. So we're going to take divine feminine's card first. What is she thinking about the divine masculine right now? She is thinking, boy, you really are keeping me in suspense, aren't you, buddy? You're keeping me hanging, and I'm sort of just watching and I'm just waiting for the chance to finally constrict you. No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, there's a boa constrictor here from my Disney Villains Tarot. I can't remember the name of this character. I do remember the Jungle Book and this villain being in the Jungle Book, but I don't remember what his name is, alas. But definitely I'm thinking that you're keeping me waiting. You're keeping me in suspense. I'm kind of excited. I like this look. It's like I have some anticipation. The feminine energy has gotten some perspective on the situation. Maybe things are a bit clearer to her now than they were before, but she definitely has the sensation of just watching and waiting with bated breath. What is the divine masculine thinking now about the divine feminine? We have the Four of Swords. So this is resting, no communication, having faith, healing. So he's thinking that right now the divine feminine is at rest, that she is kind of protecting her heart space. She's healing some kind of wounds she's received. She's remaining fairly silent. Though don't know if I have reversals in this deck anymore, but there could also be an instance here where the divine feminine has spoken up and actually said something or made some kind of a communication stating, that she has held on or she's protected her love for the divine masculine, that she's always there, something like that. But he's definitely thinking that. Also, I think that she's waiting on him to communicate in the silence right now. So starting off, both of them are thinking of each other as being on pause. Not seeing any movement really, but I'm not picking up on a heavy energy of anger or disappointment or irritability or frustration. The Four of Swords is making me feel like a calm and peaceful feeling. The feminine has got like kind of an excited and anticipatory feeling, but it is not like a feeling of anger or frustration. What is the divine feminine saying to the masculine, if she's saying anything at all right now? We have the Magician card. So she may have expressed to the masculine, or maybe expressing to the masculine, that he has some power over her, or that she wants to co-create with him or create something, make something happen. She could be saying, please use your power to make something happen. Don't leave me suspended in this Hanged Man energy, but actually do something, use your magic to sort of end this pause that she's been experiencing. And what is the divine masculine saying to the divine feminine? We have here the 5 of Cups. So if he's been saying anything, he's been saying, you know, I feel sad about having disappointed you. I don't want to disappoint you anymore. I want to give you something to be optimistic about. He may be saying, I am optimistic, or I'm looking for progress in our connection, because we're seeing the 4 and the 4 of Swords is what he's thinking, and the 5 of Cups is what he's saying. So, you know, it's maybe made him sad to disappoint the feminine, to keep her on pause while he was doing his healing. But he's looking forward now to progressing out of this energy with her. And also, I should note the divine feminine has major arcana, both the Hanged Man and the Magician. So she's having, you know, major thoughts and major, like, she's saying things to him like, you have always had this power over me. You know, you, like, there also, this could be about her saying like, you need to manifest this or make this happen energy, but it's like a major shift or change that she's after. She wants to shift out of the Hanged Man energy into something that's more satisfying and fun. What is the divine feminine doing to the masculine right now from her perspective? Queen of Pentacles. She's making the divine masculine take care of himself, nurture himself, emotionally process for himself, you know, tune into his own creativity. And also, she's making him watch her do that for herself as well, because she's emulating this energy of the Queen of Pentacles. In this storyline, Madame Medusa, this is from The Rescuers, which is from, I think it's like the 70s that this movie came out, either the 70s or maybe 83, I don't remember. It was when I was a kid, and I loved The Rescuers. And the plot line is that she's trying to get this little girl, Penny, to locate this big diamond for her, this big jewel for her. And so to a certain extent, we see divine feminine, you know, sort of insisting that the divine masculine discover the value that's within himself and be able to reflect it back to her, since she at this point knows her value. So this is, I know we hear the high value thing dropped a lot of times in social media, but she's trying to get the masculine to really discover how much, like, how worthy he is, how worthy she sees him, because there's been that issue of worthiness that comes up where it prevents him from coming forward. So she's trying to get him to like seek out his own value within himself. What is the masculine doing to the feminine right now? Divine feminine. We see the 3 of Pentacles, and this was the first card that came up today in what the masculine was saying to his friends. So there is this energy here of, I am wanting to collaborate. So he's also maybe putting the feminine in a situation where, while he is focused on her and looking directly at her, she does sort of have to deal with his other attachments. They're just sort of a part of the dynamic between them, and there's not much he can do about it. So he's kind of putting her in a situation where she does have to have this other party, you know, not be involved, and maybe in some ways involved, you know, if there's children, or just like if there's some kind of arrangement with an ex, or it could be a family member. But I think also he's trying to include the feminine in building something with him. And in some cases, you know, because it depends on where the masculine energy is in the journey. If you're at an early stage of your journey, the divine masculine may be kind of keeping you on the side and not prioritizing you at this moment. But that's going to be for people that are in the early stages of the journey. Early stages are like You've just recently discovered that you think you're on a twin flame journey. You've only recently separated from your person. You know, for people that have been in this for years, this is not anything about you being kept on the side. It's about the other things that are attached to the masculine, but he is choosing to focus on you rather than focus anymore on this other energy. But again, you have to use your discernment about where you are in your journey. If you're in a situation where you've recently parted from somebody, you just learned about this, it's highly unlikely that your masculine is prioritizing you right now, because he has to prioritize his healing. He's got to do all these other things. And because it's a collective reading, if you want to know about your specific person and your personal journey, you would probably want to book a personal reading just to be sure. The final position, or not the final position, but the fourth position is, how can we create more harmony for the feminine between what she thinks, says, and does, right? So she thinks right now, I'm in suspense. She says, I know you have the power to bring me out of this waiting energy. And what she's doing is really kind of focusing on her own nurturing and taking care of herself, and just sort of kind of insisting that the divine masculine find his high value energy so that he can come in. So how can we create harmony for the feminine between thinking that you're stuck, wanting, some kind of to make something happen, but at the same time being kind of focused on yourself? We have here the Two of Wands. This is about making a decision, a choice. It's also about no longer planning or strategizing, but just kind of surrendering the thing that you've asked for to the divine. Because the Two of Wands is about you saying, hey, can I have a soulmate? Or hey, can I have this experience? Or whatever. And then the divine being like, yeah, totally. And then you having to be like, cool, I guess I just need to wait for that to happen. And just choose to focus on my power and my magic while you're doing your thing, because I have faith that you're going to bring that to me. And great. And then when you can finally overcome the restlessness that is involved in the Two of Wands, then you arrive at the Three of Wands, which is where you truly have faith, because you can see the culmination just there, right, in the future in front of you. So that will help divine feminine. So to make a decision, to stop trying to make something happen, to try to shift something, but just trust that those paths are going to cross, that things are going to come together, that you've asked the divine masculine for something, and he's going to give it. He's going to bring it to you. And for the masculine, how do we create more harmony between what he thinks? Okay, he thinks the divine feminine is being silent, that she's healing, that she's guarding this heart space while she's, healing the wounds of her heart. He's saying to her that he doesn't want to disappoint her anymore, by sort of keeping her on pause and that healing energy, and doing at the same time, he's trying to collaborate with her and work with her. He still has this other energy here that either demands his time or attention, which can also be a career, can be any number of things. Doesn't just have to be another partner, by the way. So how can he create more harmony? He can actually come forward and communicate directly in his integrity, strategically, not just willy-nilly or haphazard. The King of Wands takes action, but he's kind of fiery and spontaneous and passionate. The King of Swords keeps his cool, but he's absolutely able to talk. He's absolutely 100% able to communicate. Nothing stops him from being able to say exactly what he needs to say, what's on his mind. So there would be some more harmony between what he's thinking, saying, and doing if he would actually communicate to the feminine these intentions for her, to no longer disappoint her by keeping her on the hook when there's other energy that takes up his time and attention, but to really cut that shit out and be very focused on doing what's best for himself and the feminine in this connection. What is the current happiness potential for these individuals? We have the Strength card, That's major, major, significant, something you should be very confident that this is going to be a happy connection. The Flotsam and Jet, or not Flotsam and Jetsam, I can't think of their names. Brutus and Nero. Brutus and Nero, which actually, very interestingly, are the crocodiles that are Madame Medusa's pets. So her happiness potential is very strong right now. And for the masculine, we have the Nine of Cups, which is wish fulfillment. So 100%, this looks like a very strong, positive outcome. These are both yes cards for me, major yes, and a minor yes. And so this is like all of the major things coming together, the fears being faced, the courage, the boldness, the confidence to be able to grant wishes, the masculine fully opening up to the feminine, expressing his emotion, no longer withholding or holding that back. And then we're seeing growth here. So not only is there a major yes to this current happiness potential in regards to this, there's this 100% indication that there's going to be this growth here in the connection. Things are going to grow in a positive direction. So that's really beautiful. Now, because it's me, I pulled the top and bottom of the deck. We're looking at the top of the deck as something that is, just kind of the general energy that they are both bringing in right now. Divine Feminine is super excited. I saw her excitement here in this Hanged Man energy. That's not usually something I pick up on, but there is this brightness that we're seeing to this, to the boa constrictor here. So there's definitely this feeling of anticipation, adventure, a willingness to take the risk, just really super excited energy. From the masculine, we have emotional regulation and calm and peace and healing. So a lot of healing has happened for the masculine. And for the feminine, she can maybe feel that. And there's this excitement in her in regards to this. And then what the two of you do not see coming is the new beginning and the end of separation. So divine feminine energy, the energy of the heart taking the leap and leaving behind this lack mentality, the separation, the sadness, the isolation, the loneliness, and just feeling like that you're not enough. It's like starting fresh and having a new beginning and no longer carrying that energy of separation between the two of you again. So that is what you don't see coming. Now we're going to take a look at the oracles. And we're going to see what divine masculine's words are to the feminine right now. We have Armadillo Spirit, the protection message, and it says, set healthy boundaries, which, with that third party energy, he may have needed to do recently. But let's take a look and see what the protection message is and what he would say to the feminine. This is a tricky time as I find myself enmeshed with others, overly concerned with how they will take it if I say no or express how I really feel. I feel anxious saying no to someone, so I often capitulate, even knowing the outcome will not be in my best interest. Sometimes I feel like it's my job to stop someone from facing their challenges. Instead, I need to instead, I feel that I need to take on their responsibilities, rescuing them instead of giving them the freedom to learn their lessons their way. I've often felt that if they only knew how much I cared, they would change and then all would be well. But I need to be honest with myself and others, no matter how difficult that may be, or how much I may fear losing someone or something. I have to face my fear, tell the truth, and set my boundaries. I will be amazed at the miracles that happen when I finally allow myself to protect myself from taking on too much, becoming a people pleaser, and losing my integrity. I need to relax, live, and let live. If I've been defensive, I'm being called to step back and trust in Spirit's plan. So that really makes sense. These last two cards here, the Three of Pentacles with this King of Swords energy in regards to that message, is just like ringing very true for me. That, there is this other energy that the masculine just needs to be more honest with. And even if that will disappoint them or upset them, and he needs to have those healthy boundaries so that he can have the life that he dreams, and he needs to just live and let live. And the feminine, what would she say to the masculine? She would say, I'm trying to get that out of order. That's okay. We've got bat spirit. A rebirth is assured. So divine feminine, look at this hanged man energy again that we started out the whole reading with. But she is just feeling very confident that there is this reconnection or rebirth that's coming in. Hello. All right. So she is saying, after something has run its course and died or been released, finished, surrendered, completed, or ended, there is a promise of a new beginning. Rebirth is assured just as night gives way to dawn and the bat emerges from the darkness of a womb-like cave. I have come to remind you, divine masculine, that this rebirth is a miraculous one. For the very best elements of what you had to give up in the death of the old are still present in this new, amazing life forming now. This is the miracle and magic of rebirth in every aspect of our lives, including the rebirth of faith in our ability to establish new and healthy relationships. But Spirit reminds us that at present we are in unknown territory, and it may feel as if we are lost. However, we are called to trust that our intuition will be a reliable guide as we give birth to something new and unfamiliar. I have listened in the darkness of night, and I have heard all of our hopes and dreams, our fears and worries, and am assuring us that this new version of our dream, this move from darkness into light, from lost to found and death to rebirth, comes to fruition with love at its core. I am asking you to trust that what seems to have died is actually shape-shifting into something even more meaningful and wondrous than before. If you feel you are in the dark, know that come morning, all will be revealed and things will be in a new form that is right for us. I love that message, divine feminine. That's like a beautiful message for the masculine. All right, now let's take a look at the emotions that they are both in right now. The masculine, we're seeing confidence come up for him again. This came up yesterday in yesterday's reading. And then we are seeing for the feminine energy, isolation. So I do see an ending to isolation for the feminine that is imminent, but let's go ahead and read these messages. So the divine masculine confidence message. First, let's learn about the color black. As with all colors, our associations with black are varied and complex. The link between black, death, and the underworld goes back to ancient culture. Many gods and goddesses of the underworld are represented by the color black, including the ancient Egyptian gods of the afterlife, Anubis and Kali, the Hindu goddess of death and time, among other things. These associations with death can elicit feelings of fear, but that's just one perspective. Like white, black can be understood either as the absence of all light, no color, or all colors together in harmony when mixing pigments together. For the ancient Egyptians, black also represented fertility. Black is often used in spell work that has to do with protection and can be useful in absorbing negative energy. Confidence is not a fixed attribute. It is something that we're continuously working to build throughout our lives. In a reading, this card signifies that it is the right time to start working with and enhancing your sense of self-confidence. How can you build more confidence in your life in a meaningful way? So the masculine is doing that right now. He's enhancing and building his confidence as he's working on those healthy boundaries. For the divine feminine energy, we have this card that says isolation, and I'm just looking for it here in the book where it is located. Here we go. Viewed one way, white may seem like the absence. It's interesting because we got white and black also, which is the balancing of the divine masculine and feminine energy. Hi, if you'd like a personal reading, there's a link in my profile where you can book private video readings or one-on-one for 50% off, but this is a collective reading at this point in time, and then I'll be doing personal readings following this. It can be seen, so white light is actually all colors blended together. It can be seen as calming, or when perceived as absence, nothingness, and emptiness, too much white can seem cold and sterile. White is often associated with peace and is also used to symbolize surrender. In India, white is often worn in funerary services, and in China, it is considered the color of mourning. In addition, the color white is sometimes used to help find clarity in magical workings and spellcraft. Being isolated can feel lonely, but it can also be tremendously healing. When you're feeling secluded, it can be a time to learn more about yourself, to dive down deep into the parts of yourself that you can't reach when you're around others, and learn the importance of some alone time. Give yourself the chance to heal and to rediscover yourself. So, Divine Feminine has used this time of the Hanged Man energy that we saw her in to work on the healing that she's needed to do. And even the Divine Masculine has seen that energy coming from her. So, her isolation has actually been something valuable for her healing. I also think this is an intention on the Divine Feminine to remain isolated at this time until the masculine does make some kind of move toward her or some kind of a communication. And we see the confidence being built to be able to bring that feminine out of isolation. So there's that Fool energy leaping out of the separation that they have been in. And now the final cards for masculine and feminine energy. We have Come to the Edge for the masculine energy, which is not a card I've gotten before, and the Thinker, which is one I get all the time. So let's take a look for the masculine energy here. Come to the edge. What is this message for masculine energy? Number 36. So, courage, taking a leap of faith, overcoming fear, and accepting risk, which is the confidence and the Fool card mixed together there. Facing the unknown is the only choice you really have right now if you want to progress. It is okay to be afraid. Now is the time to take a risk that is not calculated, to feel the exhilaration as you ready yourself for a leap of faith. Spirit is present, so let go of fear. You are called to express your true self. Listen to your heart and soul, not your head. Come to the edge and discover that you can fly. You must step into the unfamiliar so that you may find your miracles. The relationship message is it's scary to be truly intimate with someone, to allow him or her to see all of you, especially the parts that they've kept hidden and protected. Now is the time to take that risk and let yourself be seen, truly seen. It is important that you speak up, voice what you need, state who you are, say what you hope for. This is not the time to play it safe, but to take a leap of faith. You will be glad you did. If you're seeking a relationship, the same applies. Take one step toward the gods, and they will deliver what you truly desire. I love that message. Divine Masculine's got that confidence. As long as he can work on those boundaries about people pleasing, I think we're seeing a masculine that's finally ready to take that leap. We have here the Thinker card, number 44. Oh gosh, I'm very sleepy. I apologize. I was up until 4 on the phone with my friend that's on the West Coast. Just talking. I miss her a lot. All right, Thinker, strategy, being analytical and logical. So, Divine Feminine, the ability to reason and strategize is the focus now. Take things at face value and follow the logical path. Your calculations will prove to be correct. For this moment, there is no deeper meaning than what is obvious. Things are exactly as they seem. You have all the information you need. Keep it simple, and you will win the game of life you're playing at right now. Love is not logical, but when you choose a partner, it is good to have things in common other than desire. This is a time to weigh the pros and cons of your partnership. If there is enough common ground, go for it. If not, there are other fish in the sea. Don't force it to work. And should others tell you who they are, take them at their word. Now is not the time to indulge in a fantasy, no matter what. In this case, the facts are the facts. All right, beautiful message. So we've got the Divine Feminine having to kind of call a little bit into balance her masculine energy, and the masculine energy needing to just take that leap into his emotions, into the feminine energy. So we're seeing the scales balancing out between the two, which is very beautiful, I think. So thank you so much for being here with me today for this collective reading. If you didn't get a chance to see the whole reading, you can check it out on my YouTube where I have been live streaming. So it should be already available for you there. And if you're interested in a personal reading, hop over to my Tuned In Tarot TikTok. And I will do personal readings right now for anybody who's there. I'm going to be pulling one card about emotions for you if you want your basically something to work on for today. I'll pull a card for you on something that will help you today. And if you want a personal reading, a one deck reading, it's $22. Using 2 decks is $33. And I'm seeing just one person over here on YouTube, so I'll go ahead and pull your one card for you. I'm not answering personal questions unless you click the link in my profile and do Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App. $22 or $33, but I will just pull one card to give you something to focus on or work on for yourself today. So let me grab that for you, Deepu. Thanks for being here. And again, I see you do have some deeper questions, but definitely check out the link in my profile for a personal private reading. But here's your one card before I sign off on YouTube over here. We have sadness. So sadness might be something that you are needing to work on right now. I know you were asking about how Moon feels about you now. And I feel like there is sadness coming from you in regards to that connection, and maybe sadness on her part as well. And maybe that was one of the decisions or reasons for leaving from the question that I'm seeing you right there. So the best thing to do when we're experiencing sadness is to allow that grief to be our companion. Like, don't suppress it or push it down, but just feel it and allow it to be there. Make space for it, create space for it, and feel the fullness of that feeling, because that's pretty much the only way to process the information we need from it. There's no need to dwell there, but you can take it with you throughout your day. And eventually you will start to see the silver lining, and things will start to look up and you'll start to feel more optimistic. But make sure you honor that sadness and that grief that you might be experiencing at this time. But thank you so much for being here with me today on YouTube. I'm going to sign out. And if you want to hop over to Tuned In Tarot on my TikTok, I will be over there. Thanks so much. Have a good day, everybody. And I will see you probably Monday if I'm back on schedule for the Divine Tune-In. I did it on Wednesday instead this week. So I'm going to aim for Monday. But if you don't see me Monday, you'll see me Wednesday. Have the best week. Take care. And for those of you